Order of operations. PEMDAS. 3 or more steps. What are they? The rules that say which calculation comes first in an expression. Why? So there's a set standard of rules. Interesting fact. Octopuses can squeeze into tight spaces as they are invertebrates, which means they have no skeleton. Some species have a protective casing in their mantles. So let's go ahead and talk about what each letter stands for. P for parentheses, E for exponents or powers or exponents or square roots, M for multiply, D for divide, A for add, S for subtract. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these 5 examples. And then before we go ahead and get started with that, let's take a look at how PEMDAS is now written. Okay, so we have parentheses on top, exponents below, multiply and divide on the same row, and add and subtract on the same row as well. The reason why multiply and divide on the same row, as well as add and subtract, is because they are inverses, which means they are opposites. So whenever we see just those particular operations, we're going to read it left to right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So we have example 1, 26 minus parentheses 24 minus 5 plus 3 end parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and do step 1. Take a look at the parentheses. And since we only have addition or subtraction, we're going to read it from left to right. So we're going to do 24 minus 5, which is 19. We still have the parentheses, so we're going to go ahead and add 19 plus 3, which gives me 22. And finally, we're going to do 26 minus 22, which is 4. And that is your answer. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 2, where we have 6 times the parentheses of 8 minus 3 in parentheses times 2. So let's go ahead and take a look at that first step. We're going to need to take care of that parentheses. So we need to do 8 minus 3 first, which is 5. And then now we're going to have to multiply 7 times 5, because even though it's not written, it's understood that we need to multiply the 7 times the parentheses of 5, and which is 35. And now we're going to go ahead and do 35 times 2, which is 70. And that is your answer. So let's go ahead, take a look at example 3, where we have 18 divided by the parentheses of 5 plus 4 in parentheses times 3. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that first step, which is parentheses. So we're going to go ahead and add those two numbers together. 5 plus 4 is 9. So now we have to decide which one we're going to do first, division or multiplication. Well, they're on the same row, and they're inverses, so we're going to read it from left to right. So we're going to do 18 divided by 9, which is 2. And now we're going to go ahead and multiply 2 times 3, which is 6. And that is your answer. So let's go ahead and take a look at example 4. This time we have 25 minus 7 in parentheses divided by 4 times 2 in parentheses. So let's take a look at the first step. Well, we have 2 parentheses. Which one are we going to do first? Well, as in English, we read from left to right, so we're going to do the same thing. So 25 minus 7, which gives me 18. Now we're going to go ahead and worry about the second parentheses, which is 3 times 2, which gives me 6. And then now we're going to go ahead and do the last step, which is 18 divided by 6, which is 3. And that is your answer. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the last example. Oh, good. There's no parentheses this time. Not a problem. So now we're going to go ahead and highlight which things we have to worry about. Since we don't have any exponents, we're going to go to the next step, which is multiply or divide. Which one are we going to do first? Well, we're going to do the one on the left first. So let's do 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And then now we're going to go ahead and multiply 1 times 3, which is 3. And since we only have addition and subtraction left, we're going to read it from left to right. We have 8 plus 3, which is 11. And then 11 minus 3, which is 8. And that is your answer. Okay, so now it is your turn. So go ahead and pause the video so you can take your time to answer these questions. And I'll show you the answers in 3, 2, and 1. Here they are. If you got them correct, well done. If you didn't, there's always tomorrow.